Welcome everyone to Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, meme review, software releases, hardware releases, and the websites by plebes or plebs. Joining us today, fellow Bitcoiner and client advisor at Casa Hodl, Andrew. All right, we're going to the numbers. Let's do it, people.
Number time. Sponsored by... Number Time is brought to you by Bitcoin 2022. Buy your tickets now before the price goes up in 5 days. Take advantage of the link down below for 10% off.
At the time of this recording, the block height is 706,998. The Bitcoin price, 58,790. Chain rewrite days, 817. Total public Lightning capacity, look at that, 3,175.34. Sats per dollar or Moscow time, 1701. Blocks to the halvening, 133,002. Look at the Lightning capacity. This is fantastic.
According to my block clock, 133,000 blocks to the halvening. It translates to May. The halvening is supposed to happen right now on May 8th, 2024.
All right, so
see that?
No longer the 4th. We don't get to have that loose fake affiliation with Star Wars.
But it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant anyways because Bitcoin is dead.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It died twice this week, so... Yeah. Oh, wait, it died today, too. 3 times this week.
It's over. It's done. We have to pack it up. The media was right.
They are telling the truth, after all, the mainstream media. They know what's going on.
They are very accurate. It's true. It's true. But anyways, Phil, it's time for...
The Daily Fail. Sponsored by Pirate Hash. Check out piratehash.com. They've got some really cool Bitcoin collectibles. The Genesis block poster, the Run the Numbers poster. And if you're feeling adventurous, check out the Support Hodler of Last Resort Bitcoin board game. All right, so this is... We were tagged by the Cooge. Thank you very much for tagging us.
Cooge.
Cooge. Yeah, I like that name. It's a good name. It's got a good name, you know? It feels good when you say it. All right, the Cooge. All right, good stuff. Anyways, so check this out, right? He tagged us in this tweet. Looks like C.R.E.A.M Finance is dead, boys. What are they talking about? Ethereum DeFi protocol C.R.E.A.M Finance hacked for $115 million. Ugh.
You know, like, I feel like Ethereum is really good at setting records, right? And it's always like, oh, it's a new record of like this amount of money that just got hacked out of another DeFi protocol.
All the wrong records. All the wrong records they break.
Records nonetheless, okay? I'm playing the Ethereum spin cycle, the spin hat, so we're going to spin it towards the positive.
It's accurate. And I just want to point something out, Phil, before we get the article started.
Yeah.
The writer's last name is Copeland. Cope. Maybe there's a
lot
connection.
of Cope going on.
Maybe there's a connection there. Or maybe he's a Bitcoiner and that just happens to be the name. But because it's an Ethereum article, it's funny to me.
That's right. This is how we create associations. Anyways. All right, let's dive into it. Ethereum DeFi protocol C.R.E.A.M Finance hacked for more than $130 million. Everyone is very surprised, especially this panel. Okay, let's dive into it. The funds stolen were mostly in C.R.E.A.M LP tokens or other shitcoins. I don't think it really matters what token it was. All right, the C.R.E.A.M Finance team confirmed that the theft of $130 million worth of tokens in a new tweet saying that our Ethereum C.R.E.A.M version 1 lending markets were exploited and liquidity was removed on October 27th, 1354 UTC. That's right, they don't get Moscow time. They're shitcoiners. They don't get that. They're going to try to steal it from us for sure. Come up with something worth, you know, like some knockoff Lithuania time or something like that. Who knows? Anyways, it's a bad joke, but still, you know, it's true. You know, they're going to knock it off and then try to, like, you know, make it fire. Anyways, here we go. DeFi protocol C.R.E.A.M Finance has been hacked for more than $130 million. The exploit was highlighted by PeckShield. By the way, PeckShield is an audit firm, just so you know.
Interesting.
But we're gonna take a look at them because C.R.E.A.M Finance has been on the rec leaderboard before. Anyways, so yeah. DeFi protocol C.R.E.A.M Finance has been hacked for more than $130 million. The exploit was highlighted by PeckShield, who identified a large flash loan transaction that was used to carry it out. No way. You know, it's kind of funny because we've heard of these flash loan transactions before. You think that... No, forget it. Let's just continue. Okay, let's take a look, right? They show us the price of C.R.E.A.M. Not that it really makes a difference, right? It was trading at 160, completely flat, and it tanked. Okay,
Jesus.
Great. Yeah, that's a shame to the bag holders. I mean, investors. That's right. A lot of education went into those moves. Anyways, here we go. According to the exploit transaction, the hacker left a somewhat unusual message. They wrote, Gatu Bav Lucky, Iron Bank Lucky, C.R.E.A.M Not. Why dev? Incest bad, don't do. This appears to refer to DeFi lending platforms Aave and Iron Bank, along with C.R.E.A.M Finance. These guys are funny. All right. C.R.E.A.M Finance is a decentralized lending protocol built on the Ethereum blockchain. The protocol has notably suffered multiple flash loan attacks in its history, losing 37.5 million in February and then another 18.8 million in August. Today's hack is the largest DeFi, is the third largest DeFi hack in history. Okay? Now take a look at this. This will bring the total amount of funds stolen in DeFi attacks above 500 million. Check out this chart.
Amazing.
Okay? Yeah. Now, we are going to go over to... Of course, we're going to go over to the rec leaderboard. Of course, we're going to go take a look and see C.R.E.A.M Finance there for their last hack in August. For the same type of attack, mind you. Okay? Same type of attack. And they were unaudited. But yet, an audit firm told them about it after the fact. So, just randomly, PeckShield decided they had nothing to do that day. Why not? Let's let them know about this vulnerability. I mean, this is such a comedy. I feel so bad for the people that actually believe that this is real. Okay? People are just getting robbed. This is another example. We don't even have to try. We don't even have to try. I barely even have to look. We get tagged so often in this garbage. Nico.
Man, I think it's safe to say that C.R.E.A.M Finance got creamed. Okay, that's what I have to say about that. Number one, and number two, we fucking told you so. That's number two, bro. Like, I can't believe it, man. It's crazy. We have a whole section of the show that's dedicated to the goddamn rug pulls and how this DeFi shit really should be called C-Fi. And this is a great example of just why it's freaking terrible. Just have your money in Bitcoin. Avoid all of that bullshit. Avoid all the scams, right? But anyways, Andrew, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, if code is law, is this really a hack? Is this really a vulnerability? Isn't it just a result of just really poor coding and a security audit? So I don't know.
Okay.
I want to say...
Hold on, Andrew. Wait, I just have to say before he goes on, I just want to point out quickly that we have said multiple times on this show that rug pulls are not a side effect. That's exactly what they're meant to do. That is the use case. So it's super interesting that you're saying that about code is law.
And look, there's something that Andrew said that I want to touch upon, which is this idea where it's like, it got audited, right? There's an element of trust there, where in Bitcoin, there's no trust, right? Or the trust is minimized, right? So again, isn't the innovation to take the trust out of the equation, right? Wasn't that whole innovation, the whole innovation? Because the way that I see DeFi is just like this Frankenstein creature of the system we have today, right? So I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah, I think audits are good. Bitcoin relies on audits too. It's just, I think the difference is that we take a lot more conservative approach to how we build smart contracts and stuff on top of it. And there's a lot more peer review around on things and stuff. And so I think the difference is more of a cultural one where it's you get one audit, okay, we're done. Let's push this out. Let's get into production. Let's put millions and millions of dollars into the smart contract and see how it goes, as opposed to the Bitcoin perspective. It's, we'll get an audit, we'll get 2-3 different audits, we'll have other people review the code. And even then it's kind of wait, should we push it out live or should we not? It's we're very conservative about that because, man, if you want Bitcoin to be the global standard, the world reserve, you've got to be super conservative with that stuff. You can't mess with it. People have to trust that you know what you're doing, and you're not going to have an exploit like you had with this C.R.E.A.M protocol.
Absolutely, and it reminds me of in Gigi's book, 21 Lessons, one of the lessons that he taught, I think it was lesson 18, if I remember it off the top of my head, said, don't move fast, don't break things, right?
There you go.
So, and one of, the kind of the culture and, in Silicon Valley is, move fast, break things. But who would have known that doesn't work for money? Unfortunately, it doesn't work for money. And all these rug pulls and rec.leaderboard is a really good representation of that. Man, that sucks. But anyways, Phil, it's time for meme review.
Yeah, we're at the meme review. Sponsored by...
The meme review is brought to you by Citadel 21. Get the best Bitcoin cultural zine. It's written by plebs for plebs. Get yourself a physical copy. There's only 1,000 made per volume. Citadel21.com. All right, guys, the meme review. First meme is brought to us by @KillCom7. Thank you, plebs and spaces. I would like to say thanks to the person that taught me economics, philosophy, geopolitics, history, and math, education system. Sit the fuck back down. I hate talking about you. Bitcoin, education system. Absolutely hilarious, bro. Next one is brought to us by legendary LC Hodl. Memes, toxic plebs, influencers, cloud chasers, and grifters. Highly accurate, LC. Highly accurate. The next one is brought to us by, well, it's a comment. This is why memes are so effective. Greg said creamed, right? We just covered them. Creamed. Oh, I think that's where I got it from, actually, my comment. So my comment was brought to you by Greg. Anyways, and then Copper Nixon, or Copernicus, but it's really pronounced Copper Nixon. Copper Nixon. You can't care if you can't learn. Shitcoiner, oh my fucking god, C.R.E.A.M Finance got hacked. Bitcoiners, I feel nothing. We agree, this is how we feel on Simply Bitcoin. Anyways, Phil, for those awesome memes, I'm going to give it this empty bag of jalapeno chips.
Ooh.
That it's spicy, but it's not that spicy, and it's still chips.
See, you've got good spicy when it's spicy, but it actually has a flavor. Right? Like, you're getting into dangerous territory when it's just hot and you can't feel your mouth and there's no flavor. Then it's all about the pain. Then you're just like, then you're just a masochist. Okay. Anyways. All right. So here we go. I am going to give this a very unconventional score, but very meaningful. All right. This is my Vamenos Pest magnet, and for the people who liked Breaking Bad, you will know what that is from. You will know what that's in relation to.
Is that when they cook? Is it they cook the meth in the house?
That's what that was the company that they set up.
Right. What about you, Andrew? What would you give those memes?
I give them a men's multivitamin gummy thing that's been halfway eaten. So very nutritious for the Bitcoin soul.
Yeah, very nutritious, and you could tell that he's never gonna miss his vitamins. Wait, how is it that they say in the UK? It's like vitamins.
Vitamins.
How do you pronounce it, guys? Vitamins or vitamins? But if they're spelled the same, how will we know how you pronounce it?
Have you heard of how East Coasters pronounce finance?
Finance.
Yes, absolutely.
Finance.
It's finance.
Is it really finance? No.
Yeah, like they both say finance.
Who says that?
Oh, everybody in the East Coast, they're super.
I'm from Miami, dude. We don't say finance. We say finance.
Okay, he's probably talking about the Northeast. He's talking about maybe like New York or something like that.
I mean, Southeast is pretty ghetto, but like North, there's teacups, like, with the pinky up, yeah.
I'm in New England, so
I don't even take that personally because it's totally true. It's totally true.
Anyways, we all went to Miami. We know what's up. Yeah.
Welcome to Miami. Anyways, Phil, it's time for the Daily News, sponsored by. The Daily News is brought to you by Cloaks. Get yourself a 3D printed Bitcoin grenade and take advantage of the link down below for 5% off anything on the store, cryptocloaks.com. All right, everybody, before we get started, you guys know the drill. We are apolitical on Simply Bitcoin. We don't lean left or right. Those are the fiat parties. They're garbage. We stand for Bitcoin. That being said, anyways, check out this article. I'm going to connect it with what we're going to talk about today in a second. But first, right, I want you guys to pay attention to a little bit of the signal. You guys might have missed this. An article from September 28th, crypto's road gets harder with Biden pick for bank watchdog, right? Anyways, President Joe Biden may have dashed any remaining hopes that Washington would warm to cryptocurrencies under his watch. The White House nominated Saule Omarova last week to lead the office of Comptroller of the currency, all but confirming that U.S. financial regulators will be void of any crypto allies for at least the next 3 years. The article goes on to say, if Omarova is confirmed by the Senate, the OCC would likely go further in pursuing stricter oversight of digital tokens and tougher rules. That would confirm with the trend in Washington. Gensler wants crypto to be regulated much like securities are, and a group of financial agencies are considering implementing guardrails around stablecoins such as Tether. The Fed is weighing establishing its own digital currency, which could compete with stablecoins that traders use to buy Bitcoin and other virtual currencies. Stablecoins, which is, we've been telling you this, the lowest hanging fruit, any cryptocurrency that isn't decentralized enough, the government's going to go after it. Meaning anything but Bitcoin, really. Anyways, the article goes on to say this was her comments, right? The appointee's comments. She said, crypto conveniently believed that spouting often dubious inclusion and innovating propositions would forestall regulations, he said. The sector was extraordinarily intoxicated with the cool factor, right? So I know you guys are thinking, this is an old article. What does this have to do with anything? I want you guys to remember this quote that she had to say when we talk about what we're going to talk about next. Put on your seatbelts because it's freaking crazy. Anyways, check this out. Biden's nominee, Omarova, has a published plan to move all bank deposits to the Fed and let the New York Fed short stocks. The paper is titled The People's Ledger, How to Democratize Money and Finance the Economy, right? In the paper, in all seriousness, proposes the following: moving all commercial banks deposits from commercial banks to so-called Fed accounts at the Federal Reserve, allowing the Fed in extreme and rare circumstances when the Fed is unable to control inflation by raising interest rates to confiscate deposits from these Fed accounts in order to tighten monetary policy. That's called theft. So keep that in mind, right? When she had this quote, I'm going to read it again. Crypto conveniently believed that spouting often dubious inclusion and innovation propositions would forestall regulation. If the fucking regulation that you have in mind is being able to steal people's fucking money, I'm really, really intoxicated with the cool factor, okay? If that's what you mean about the cool factor, I'm about the fucking cool factor. Anyways, moving on. Allowing the most Wall Street conflicted regional Fed bank in the country, the New York Fed, when these are rise in market value at rates suggested of a bubble trend, such as with technology stocks today, to short these securities, thereby putting downward pressure on their prices. So to translate what that means is fuck the free market. That shit sucks. Let's get the government, and the government is going to determine whether the price of something is good or not. Eliminate the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation that insures bank deposits. So let's get rid of the $250,000 insurance that we have today on any deposit. You don't need it anymore. And give us the power to seize your shit and fuck the free market. If this sounds like communism to you, you'd be right. This is communism. And to prove it to you, I mean, not to prove it to you, you guys could, do the math on your own. But just like the People's Republic of China, we have nothing against them, but, they are a communist country on paper, at least. This is called the People's Ledger. That's very suspicious. Anyways, consolidate all bank regulatory functions at the OCC, which Omarova has conveniently been nominated to the head. Listen. That is fucking scary. And this lady just got nominated to the head of the OCC, and apparently she's drunk on power, wants to consolidate it all to her. She wants to be the head of the bank, and she wants two things. She wants to control the free market. She wants to be able to seize your funds only in extreme circumstances. How much do you really believe that? How much do you really believe that? And, she's shitting on Bitcoin and shitcoins. Why is she shitting on Bitcoin and shitcoins? Does it really have to do with regulation, or does it really have to do with she won't be able to seize your shit, right? Just a thought. Anyways, I know this has been covered a little bit, especially on conservative YouTube, but we wanted to give you a different perspective because Bitcoin fixes this. She won't be able to seize your funds in extreme circumstances. She doesn't have your private keys. Yeah, sucks for Omarova. What are your thoughts, Phil? Or Andrew, do you want to go?
Yeah. No, this is a really interesting article that you brought up. I think the number 2 in the last point in that last article, I think most people would actually view bringing more access to the Fed Reserve as a positive thing, because instead of limiting access to like federal loans and other like federal deposits to just select few banks, you can now open it up to almost anybody. But what this is setting up, especially in that last line right there, I think could be a way for them to introduce negative interest rates. And so that would go into like them taking away the deposits and whatever. And so, and to that point, you are correct. I think Bitcoin does fix this, because if you don't have cash in that bank account, you're not going to get negative interest rates, and you're not going to have any of your deposits randomly seized. You should definitely self-custody your funds and make sure that you get out of the traditional financial system as much as you can.
Absolutely. It's freaking scary. And you know, Phil, you're sighing, so you definitely have a comment. Go for it. Go for it, angry Canadian. Go for it.
she's an agent of evil, right? I mean, obviously, like, there's nothing else. Like, she's a total agent of evil. Like, what is that? Really, what is that, right? Take away, don't get me wrong, the FDIC thing is total bullshit anyways, right? Because if you have enough money and you're dumb enough to leave it in all of these accounts, like, you have to spread it all around anyways, because you only get insured up to $250K. So no matter what, they forced us to take all of our money and put it into the system. And now they're going to sit there. So imagine this, right? This rigged system, and now the Fed can short the stock market that they essentially inflate when they choose to. Look, Nico has already shown what happened the last time they cut off the money spigot. Immediately, the market took a crumble, right? So what are they going to do now? Now they're going to sit there and be like, all right, no problem. We're never going to stop printing, but we're going to short the stock market, and we're going to own all the access to your funds directly. Are you kidding me? This is, like, is anybody listening? Like, imagine, I don't know, I mean, if you've got a family and stuff and you're providing, and this is scary stuff. Even if you're not, even if you're just on your own, I don't care. If you're just anybody that respects your time and your value, this is scary stuff.
Very, very scary stuff. And I kind of pulled up a graph just to kind of point out what you were talking about, right? When Phil says when they tried to shut off the money spigot. So this is 2008. So 2000 January 2009 is when Bitcoin was born, right? And it was really in 2007, but this is really when the Fed started to experiment with QE, also known as quantitative easing, also known as money printing, bro. But they want to overcomplicate the name so people don't pay attention. It's funny how they do that. But, like kind of like a heroin drip, right? Not that I would know what that is, but for what I see with the movies, right? Essentially, once you start taking that drug, apparently you can't get off of it. Apparently the money printing is kind of the same. They're like a little bit here, a little bit there.
It's like the Chasing the Dragon video game from South Park.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, let's get off the heroin or the money printing. And that ended up catastrophically, and now
that's when they start mixing the drugs together. It's not just cocaine, but they got trying to go for the multiplier effect right there.
Exactly. So they started experimenting here, just mixing everything, and they couldn't. And that's the thing, because it's so addicting, right? And it's absolutely terrifying. Now, if this is dark, which it kind of is, don't worry, because there's hope. But that hope isn't in the U.S. It's actually happening in El Salvador. Check this out. This is the president of a country. Nayib Bukele. It was a long wait, but worth it. We just bought the dip. And it's 420 Bitcoin. Now, you could read into that or not. I don't know. That's up to you, but...
Dude gets ripped? What?
We can't confirm, but it's awfully convenient. Just saying. What are your thoughts, Phil?
Speaking of memes and numbers, like, did you see how FTX raised? I think they raised like 69,420 or something for the fundraise. It's fucking,
a great number.
Crazy. Yeah, like no, and no other industry do we have people like pulling out memes, and then they have like that company that listed it was like BTFD or something, but then they changed it to BTF. It's crazy, dude. I love Bitcoin.
It's so funny, and kind of what we were saying earlier, Phil, about we were riffing on this like a couple days ago on the episode, where in traditional finance, like Andrew said, finance, in traditional finance, bro, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, shut the fuck up. Anyway, in traditional finance, there's an element of trust, so you have to wear the suit, right? But Bitcoin, the trust is pretty much eliminated, and it's more of a reputation-based thing. So it's like, it doesn't really matter what you say, because Bitcoin does all the heavy lifting, right? So it's like, you could wear a hoodie, you could kind of not take it seriously, and unless you're in traditional finance, no one gives a fuck what you do, right? So anyways, Phil, what are your thoughts?
Bitcoin speaks for itself, so we don't have to look like tools and sell a story. You know, it just does what it does. And you either recognize its properties and realize that you need to start accumulating it, or you don't. That's it. That's all there is to it. That's what's fantastic. That's what's fantastic about Bitcoin, right? You know, it's just great like that. And as a result, hey, look, you know what? They're going to sit there, and as we can see, they are going to spin fantastic stories and try to create a whole narrative about why they're needed, but at the end of the day, they are not. We've got Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. It's true, bro. Phil, before we go, could you do the audience a favor and say finance?
Finance.
Hey, there it is.
But anyways, Phil, there was an open source software release today. Oh, there wasn't.
Wait, before we give the open source software release, I do have a question for Andrew, our guest. Okay. That's not part of our news segment. Yes.
Uh-oh, I'm scared.
That's right. We're catching you off guard. No. Okay, so look, I remember that you hosted, and I do apologize because I know there were other hosts to the Lightning Bolt-a-thons. I just don't remember them, but I remember you specifically, and I totally thought that was amazing. I partook in one of them, and I thought it was really cool, and I watched the other one the whole time. It was actually the first one, and I think I partook in the second one because the first one I definitely had no cojones to try. But are you going to be doing another one? Is that ever on the cards again? Because I think now, with how much innovation we have on Lightning, how many people are building around Lightning, I feel like this would be so cool.
Yeah, I've been
no pressure.
I've been wanting to host another one. The problem is, like, my partner that I put it on with, he's like working full time now, and so like I don't have an engineer. I need an engineer to like build out the website and then handle the Lightning payments and run the Lightning node, and I just take care of the operations side of stuff. But yeah, I mean, if I can find that guy, then I definitely want to try it again. It was a fun time, dude.
Bitcoiners, this is a call to action. You heard Andrew. If he could find somebody that can help him do this, make it happen. The Lightning Bolt-a-thons were some of the greatest times, and it was super cool. It was like this, kind of like this, what was it, like 48 hours straight or 72 hours straight. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's a weekend hack sprint, and the coolest part I thought was that it was the first of its kind. It was right when Lightning came out. There's no great tooling, and so this was just our incentive. And we gave out Bitcoin, bro. Like, I think we gave out 0.3 Bitcoin back in the day. So that's hella change, bro. That's hella change right now. So you're welcome, Phil.
Thank you so much. I think I sent you a DM. I'm like, I'm so grateful. This is amazing. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't even believe it. For the people that don't know, we came in third, but still, it was awesome because I never thought we were going to come in anything. So it was just so cool to partake. Anyways, Nico.
Yeah, dude, there was an open source software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. All right, everyone. We've got Rust. It's the Lightning implementation of Rust version 0.0.102. It's down below in the show notes. Check it out.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. Before we go, I want to give a shout out to our awesome guest, Andrew. You can go follow him at eCurrency Hodler on Twitter. And he currently is a client advisor at Casa Hodl. But anyways, guys, that was our show. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the Bitcoin news from the people perspective and the catastrophic fails, definitely consider subscribing. And we'll see you tomorrow, guys, for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.
We're living in a comedy.